write it down for me?
Yes, I will. I will.
Thank you.
Will. Okay. Nice. Here we are. Okay. Ah, ご苦労様です。あ、すみません。あれ。Okay. Eventually I got my own universe. Again, how are you? How are you? Everybody, today, what we just wanna study about who we are. Today's the text is very important to recognize, to realize who we are. And that's reason I would like to just mention about what Jinen Roshi just teaches precisely. So today's text is number, where is it? Excuse me. Here it is. Oh yes. Non-self nature, emptiness. Very wonderful. Very wonderful. Chinese very famous, the Zen master just teaches. Non-self is exactly universe itself. Congratulations. We are just living in our own universe. See? That's a tremendous. Non-self. Although we are just living without what you are thinking about us. See? Unfortunately, what people thinking about our the daily life is because of the depend on what we thinking about ourselves. This is entirely misunderstanding. As I just always mentioned, as I always mentioned about when I faced this, see, I simply become as I faced it. See, without any intervention of what I think about self. Exactly as it is. This is non-self. This is non-self. Selflessness. Always, when I face this, I just become as I face it. When I just face it, I just become as I face it. See? When I clap my hand, you simply become this sound itself. Simultaneously, you just become this sound itself. See? This function, this activity only exists. This is the truth of the universe. This is the truth of the universe. Without what we think about the self, we are just moving, see, or acting. This is through the self and what's going on here. What the people thinking about because of what we thinking about the self, we can just act. We totally misunderstand. Totally misunderstanding. Right. This is a very important thing. This is the most important thing to realize who we are. For our practice, zazen. So we go back to the text. What the Jinen Roshi teacher says, non-self nature. I see, I hear, I taste, I feel hot. I have thought. See, this activity, this function, just simply happen without what we think about the self. Right now, right now. See, when I clap my hand, simply just become this sound. Without, as I just mentioned, without any intervention of what we think about the self. Simply I just directly become this. See? There is no space. There is no space. What you're thinking about self enter. There is no space. You just simply become this. Why do you have to be? Why do you have to be this something without doing anything? Without doing anything, simply. See, there is no space. There is no room. What you think about the self intervene. See? This is a very important thing. Most important things what for human to realize. See, without what we think about ourselves, we can just simply act. Always. See, this is most important thing. This is a fundamental, essential thing. See, so we have to figure out. We have to solve this the question. See, these things. Okay, okay. Non-self nature. I see, I hear, I taste, I feel hot, I have thought. See, those activities, just we are just do without without what we are thinking about self. That is a non-self nature. That is a non-self nature. This is the most important thing. Okay, essentially, there is no me attached to any of this. See, no me. What is it? No me. No me is what we thinking about ourselves. Whether you know or not. See, neither knowing nor not knowing. See, we can just act or we can just move. See? this is a tremendous, tremendous, wondrous and marvelous. See, we have to recognize, we have to realize this. Now, this fact or this reality, the first other person they use Shakyamuni Buddha, who just realize this reality, this fact, Shakyamuni Buddha, who just discover this the reality. This is the most important discovery for us. See, no, what we just think about, people never understand, never be able to just accept what the Shakyamuni Buddha realized. See, tremendous, huge. Essentially, there is no me attached to any of this, any activity. Simply act without what we are thinking about the self. See, those activities are non-self. See, non-self. See, then you just recognize. Then you just recognize that kind of activity, and you put kind of what you think about the self. Then it's become I did, I heard, I saw. See, that's later. That's later. That later, that is another true reality. Truth is just hearing what you see, seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, heart, having soul. That is without what we think about ourselves. We'll simply just act like this way. Never be deceived by thinking what follows. Okay. Essentially, there is no me attached to any of this, any activity. See, there is nothing concerned with what we are thinking about self activities. Simply just act without what we think about the self. Whether you understand it or not, it is always the only working things that can be. Look close, look closely, look very carefully. See? Without what we think about ourselves, we can simply act. See? This is the true activity. Right. That activity is a true ourselves. Without what we are thinking of, without we think about ourselves. Without, see, that's reason the Zen Master Dogen said, when you seek for the way is our true self, our true self, or what the truth is. See, when you seek for the way, see, you can find it. You see, you find it to be complete and universal. Complete and universal. This is our true self. See? Entirely different from what you think about the self. What you think about the self never exists. It just exists only in your mind. In your mind. See? What you think about self, you just admit, you just recognize what you think about the self by thinking or feeling. That's entirely misunderstanding, and that is not true at all. never be deceived by thinking also. Excuse me. Excuse me. Something happened. Something happened. Gary said, always happen. Okay, what's matter? Excuse me, just a second. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay. This is a very important thing. See, we are totally misunderstanding who we are. We are totally misunderstanding, or completely misunderstanding. Our true self, our truth is far beyond what we think about ourselves. That's the reason we have to do it. We have to do it. As I just mentioned about the first person who realized this truth is Shakyamuni Buddha. The reason why the Shakyamuni Buddha just realized this is a Zazen. So what's a Zazen is? The thinking. Whatever just thinking or thoughts come up in our mind, simply release the as it is. This is enough. See, the reason why is what you are thinking about, the thinking or thought is not true. See, just thinking or thought, just come out in your mind without any reason, just like a bubble in the river, bubble in the river, just come out without any reason. So why we have to just care much about those things, those are the thinking or thoughts? See, without any reason, simply release that is totally enough. See, our activity is nothing concerned with thinking, nothing concerned with thinking or thought. As Master Dogen mentioned, our activity is a complete and universal activities, not a human being's activity, not a human activity. The human activity is such a tiny, but universal. Because of universal activity, see, our activity is so complete, so much complete and perfect, without any troubles. Never misunderstanding this. Okay, where is it? Whether you know it or not, whether you understand it or not, it is already the only working thing that can be. What it says when I clap my hands, you simply become as it is. See, without doing anything. This is such a wondrous thing. You just simply become this sound itself. Why do you have to be? Why do you have to be? See? See, you never just find it. You never find out any what you think about the self. See, simply just only this activity, this only just function exists. None of others, but only this. Then everything can be done. Everything can be done. with this, this working, this the activity. Right. So you have to just you have to totally realize this. Whether you know it or not, whether you understand it or not, it is already only working things that can be. See, only this thing. So that is very simple, very simple. Nothing concerned with thinking or thought. Nothing concerned with thinking or thought. See, so that's the reason what doesn't is, what doesn't is. Whatever thinking or thought come out in your mind, simply is it's not necessary. Thinking and thought is not necessary. See, although I don't deny the thinking and thought, the thinking and thought is a very wonderful, very wonderful function. But that is not a truth. What the thinking or thought is, as far as thinking or thought, see, we just recognize the things. What recognize things, and then we just create what we just recognize. This is a kind of a creation of a thinking or thought. The imagination of a thinking, so that is not true. True is what I face. Truth is when I just face this, I just become this. This is truth. See? When I face this, I just become this. When I face this, I just become this. Only this activity. Then, see, then we recognize a kind of see, when I recognize this, we just recognize this at the same time. When I just recognize this, at the same time, we recognize what we thinking about the self. See, otherwise we cannot recognize those things. When I recognize this, as I just already mentioned, when I recognize this, at the same time, we just recognize what we thinking about the self. Otherwise, we cannot recognize those things. But before you recognize that, this, what you're thinking about the self, never exists. Never exists. See, don't be deceived. This is a very important. This the movement, or this movement just quickly just happened, swiftly just happened. So even people never recognize this kind of the people just be deceived by this trick. So quickly just happens. This is a kind of trick. See, the truth is when I just recognize this, I just become what I face as I face. This is a reality. Then the function of the consciousness or function of recognition just happen. Then when I recognize that, at the same time, we just recognize what we think about the self. This is later, after recognition, just happen. This is not a truth. Truth, reality, truth is I just become as I face. See, oneness. See, then you recognize oneness, and then kind of separation happens between that and this. See, separation, discretion. This is not a truth. Truth is oneness. Right. Okay. whether you know it or not, whether you understand it or not, nothing concerned with thinking what's going on here is nothing concerned with thinking or thought, just as it is, just as it is. It is always the only working things that can be looked very carefully. See, never be deceived by thinking or thoughts. Take a look at what it is. What it is. This way, if you can just practice, you'll be able to just encounter truth. Never just practice with intellectual understanding. See, just simply just face as it is. See, face as it is. Right. Okay, the sound of the autumn insect. The sound of the autumn insects. Only the sound without any concern for your own appearance. So what it says is, see, this sound. See, when I clap myself, only this sound, only this sound, only this sound exists. See? No other, only this. Then you recognize that sound. Then kind of what you think about self just come up later. Then, you see, when I clap my hand, only this one exists. No other. See, this is the truth of whole universe. When I clap my hand, this is totally truth of universe. See? So in another word, when I clap my hand, this universe just is born and it disappears. Yeah. What you think about the universe just born and it disappears. Yeah. Is it understandable? Okay. The sound of the autumn insects, only the sound, see? Only the sound exists. No one, see? It's very hard. This is the hardest to understand or recognize. With recognition or consciousness. You see? See, as far as thinking or thought, almost the same time, two things just happen. Two things just happen. See, when I clap my hand, sound and then the same, almost same time, the person who just clapped. Two things happen. So, what people thinking about, because Jinen just clapped his hand and sound come out. This is a way of thinking. This is not a truth. This is not a truth. Only sound with only sound without existence of existence of Jinen. Only sound. This is very important. See, as I always mention, but it is almost same time just happen. Just the things are recognized, being recognized. The things are being recognized, and the person who just recognized. It is almost same time happen. See? That's the reason we are completely deceived by thinking and thought. Reality is only sound. Reality is the things. Reality is the things being recognized. That's it. Okay. Where is it? The sound of water. This is a finish. To receive correctly is to have the other things done perfectly at that thing. See? What's going on here? What's going on here is, see, the things itself completely end with the things itself. What it is. What it is. See? Sound come out at the same time disappear. See? What the people thinking? What are the people thinking about is because, as I just mentioned, because Jinen just clapped his hand and the sound came out. See, the cause and the effects, or cause and the result is completely divided by thinking. My thinking and so that is another true. The truth is, what reality is, cause and the effects of cause and the results exactly same. One thing, one. That's it. You never say, you never be able to say which is which. See? Because I just clap my hand, the sound comes. Or the sound comes because of the Jinen just clap my hand. At the same time just happen. And they completely disappear without any anything else. This is the truth. This is a reality. This is the truth of the universe. So nothing left at all. So why you have to just worry about? Well, nothing left. Nothing left. Why you have to just worry about why you have to just take care of the things? What the people just what's the cause of trouble for him or for us is the people thinking about something is there after something happened. Then people just try to figure out what it was, what's happened. People just try to deal with what we have to do. See, because something still left in your mind. Then people just try to figure out, try to just deal with. See, nothing left, only in your mind, something still left. That is not true. See, our activity is completely end with what happened. Nothing left at all. Nothing left. So that as I just mentioned, we don't need to worry about anything. That's what the people say. I have done something for hundreds of years ago. Before 100 years. Incredible. See, nothing, even 100 years or 2,000 years ago, nothing left at all. See? Just as it is. Just as it is. Just as it is. Nothing left. The things you just think about, something left easy, only just happen, just is left in your mind. That is not true. That is not truth. Truth is, reality is just as it is, just as it is. Never be deceived by thinking or so. This is a reality. When I face it, I just become dead. This one, only this one is reality. Nothing any more, nothing anymore, nothing any less, as it is. So whenever, whatever you just, wherever you go, these things, only these things happen. Nothing else. Wherever you go, whatever you just do, or whatever you just doing, only this thing. Only these things just happen. See? None of others, none of more or less, as it is. See? Just look at carefully. See? Never just try to deal with anything by your thinking or thought. Just take a look at very carefully what's going on. Okay. To receive correctly is to receive correctly is to accept correctly what's going on is just take a look at it very carefully. Never accept by your thinking about. So just take a look at by your eyes or ears or nose. Those what you think about six senses. Never just try to figure out what's going on by your thinking or sort of concept. See? Although, as I just mentioned, I don't deny the concept of thinking or thought, but that is not true. That's a creation. That's a delusion. Right? So take a look very carefully. Take a look very carefully. Take a look very carefully. What's going on here? Never just never try to see with your thinking or thought. See, that is not true. To receive correctly is to have that things done perfectly at that thing. See, this is a tremendous marvel. So we don't even we just wanna confuse. See, even we wanna be confused. Well, even we just wanna have a suffering or question, problem. So we never be able to do it because you see, as Master Dogen mentioned about other teachers, we are our true self is complete and universal. The complete and universal, very fortunate. See, that's the reason, as I just mentioned, it's too much. It's quite much difficult to be confused, to have a question, to have a problem. See? It's impossible to do that. Okay, no waxing and warning. We live by sharing everything as it is one day. See? See? When I face it, I simply become this. I face this. I simply become this. This is a sharing. See? So I heard this sound. I just become this sound. See? This activity, this function only exists. None of others. Only. This is the truth of the universe. This is truth of the reality of it. This only this action or activity, movement, only this. Then everything's completely done, completely finished, completely and with this this other movement, this function, none of others. What you're thinking about, this coming out in your mind, that's a totally misunderstanding. We never done by that kind of the movement or the action. From morning to night, we are constantly changing in accordance with our surrounding on dependent on origination. What they say is only this, as I just mentioned, only this movement or the function exists. Then, as I just mentioned about our daily life, the completely finished, completely ended by this activity function. Without what we think about ourselves, without what we are thinking about ourselves. Totally wondrous, totally wonderful, but totally perfect. See? Okay, from morning to night, we are constantly changing in accordance with our surroundings on dependent origination. So, in another word, just this changing, see, 10,000 changing in a second, 10,000 changing in a second. This is our true self. This is true ourself. This changing. This is true ourself. Not this one, what you think about human body. This is not a human body. This is a Dharma body. Just this changing is a true ourself. See? That's reason. Even people just say, they listen to what I say. People never understand, never be able to understand what I say. Unfortunately, Garisha, unfortunately. But if you just realize who you are, you do this, zazen. You do zazen. Only zazen. You'll be able to just realize who you are. Because Shakyamuni Buddha, who is the first person to have done this. See, he is such a greatest one. Okay. Where do you grasp to say that you are your true self? Because this changing is our self, true self. So which changing is how you can say which changing is ourselves. You see, 10,000 changing in a second, which which changing ourselves. You never say so. You never say so. And it's not necessary to recognize which is through ourselves, which the true self is. It's not unnecessary. It's not unnecessary. See, without recognize which is which, we are completely satisfied with ourselves. See, it's not unnecessary. See, also, we never be able to recognize what it is because of one. Because of one. See, we don't need to just recognize which is which, and we never be able to recognize which is which because of oneness, as it is. That is true ourselves. So from morning to night, we are constantly changing in accordance with our surrounding on dependent origination. So one thing. So this changing is true. This changing is true ourselves, and this changing is descend life or true descend life. So how many times? How many times we are just born and dead? See, how many? Uncountable. So you don't need to worry about the death of see, every 10,000, every 10,000 changing itself is our true descent life. See, how many times? Uncountable, incredible time. We are just born and then dead and born. So many times. So we don't need to worry about this and life. Okay. It's a matter of putting aside. It's a matter of putting aside all of your own thinking and coming into direct contact with the fact of the present moment. See, this is our practice. This is what the practice is. See, never care much about thinking coming up in your mind. Just simply release it as it is. This is totally enough. And then just the contact directly what you're facing. See, this is zazen. This is zazen. So if you can do this zazen, definitely you'll be able to realize who you are. See, through ourself is entirely different. What you think about yourself. See, that's the reason. That's it. In our life, within our life, we have to encounter this true person, true self. Only one chance. Well, only one occasion. Where is it? You are not very good at learning from the fact of the moment. Let's alone your own thing. See what she just want to teach us is we are too much attached. we just too much attached. We were thinking or thought. We care much about the thinking or thought. We attach the thinking or thought too much. That's reason. That's reason we never be able to just encounter truth. Although every moment, everywhere, every moment we encounter to ourselves. See, when I face two, when I face this, see, when I face this, I just become this. This is true ourselves. Although I just mention about this, you never accept what I say. You never accept what I said. This is totally useless. So that's reason. That's what am I just do that. See, do that. Then what's obstruct? See, to just realize who you are is just thinking of thought. See, thinking of thought. So that's a block. What a block of block to realize who you are is thinking of thought. See, if you can just directly just face to as it is, you either just realize who you are, but always you just face to this with or through thinking or thought. That's the reason. That's the reason. That's why you never be realized who you are. Always think. Always you just see, hear, taste, whatever, through thinking or thought. But that is another truth. But you're just totally misunderstanding. See, that's the reason you think what I say, as I said, you just see this through thinking or thought. See, that's the reason there is a separation. There is a separation between this and this. See, once thinking and thought never just enter this between this and this, then you simply realize who you are doing. If without the intervention of thinking or thought, simply easily you'll be able to just realize who you are. See, that's the reason doesn't. Whatever just thinking on the thought just come out in your mind. Simply just release or just let's go there as it is. This is totally enough. Then thinking also completely disappears. Completely disappears. Then there is no separation. There is no separation between this and this. Then you'll be able to just encounter to yourself. Very, very, very congratulations, Carlos. Okay. Okay. One more thing. In Buddhism, there is no separation between the sin. Sin is Chinese character, sin. Sin is sin means the body and also the mind. Also different characters, but the pronunciation is the same, sin. So in Buddhism, there is no separation between the sin, the body and the mind, except system one. Okay? What people thinking about the body and the mind is different. That's a total misunderstanding. Body the body and the mind, exactly the same thing. So when I touch this, I just become this one. So without knowing, without understanding, see, I know much about what it is. I know much about what it is because of oneness. Because of oneness, will be understandable. this marvelous function. So when I touch this, without knowing, without knowledge, I simply know much. I simply know or understand what it is. Right. This is one. This is Dharma. This is Dharma. So Dharma is such a wonderful. See, people never just understand how wonderful, how marvelous it is. By thinking also. See, always one as it is. Always as it is. We don't need to know much about what it is by thinking also, or any knowledge, because oneness. Because of oneness, right? Neither knowing, nor not knowing, we'll be able to just completely know much about what it is. This is true ourselves. This is Dharma. This is Dharma. That's the reason the Zen Master Dogen says our true self is complete, and universal. Exactly complete. We don't need to know anything by thinking also. Without thinking or thought, we know much about exactly what it is. Right. And that's the reason we have to do. There is no such thing as a person with no body, but only a mind, or a person with a body, but no function. What it says is, see, because what it says is because of oneness. We don't know much about, we don't need to know much about which is which. See, we don't know much about what the body, what is mind. Because of oneness. See, when I touch this, I know much about what it is. See, because of oneness. But as far as thinking, see, the people just we just divided. We just divided the body and the mind completely by thinking. So that is not a truth. That is not a truth. Once you recognize this is a body, what mind is, then that kind of things just come out. Only in your mind. Only in your mind. Before you just care much about what's the body and the mind. What you think about what's thinking of the body and the mind never exists. Never exists. See, this one says, okay, there is no such thing as a person with only a mind but no body. You see, this is what she says, the things just happen after recognition. After recognition, before recognition, as I just mentioned, there is nothing concerned with the body or mind. Body and mind never exist. Never exist. Then you recognize the things and the kind of the separation, kind of discretion just happened, and you just recognize this is a body, this is a mind. That is not true. Without knowing, body and mind, we are simply acts. We are simply act. Our activity just happening, the occurring. See, that is a before recognition. See, so you have to just recognize, or you have to realize this border. See, before recognition and after recognition. Although this border never exists, although this border never exists, but you'll be able to realize that once you just realize before recognition, you can just understand, or you can just realize the kind of border between before recognition and after recognition, so that you never just you never be deceived by thinking or thought, because you totally recognize thinking or thought is not true. So you never care much about thinking or thought. You never be deceived. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. We must, there is. Body and mind are always one. See? We must learn from the activity of this body and mind. See? You never just learn anything about what's going on here by thinking or thought. See? Every activity what you are doing right now, you have to learn what's such an activity is. See? When I feel this, I just become this. When I feel this, I just become this. See? When I just clap my hand, it just become this sound. This activity. See? This activity just prove you who you are. See? Only this activity. See? Prove or just point out who you are. See? You never just learn by thinking or thought. Although I don't deny the thinking or thought, but the thinking and the thought is not true. That's not true. Okay, we must learn from the activity of this body and mind. This is very important. So that whatever thinking or thought, you simply release it as it is. The more you do, the more you just become it. The more you just become what you face, the more. Then what's going to happen is, see, what you face, what you face, what you hear, what you taste, not tasting, saying, the hearing, just they prove you who you are. See? Right. Definitely you do. we have a kind of experience. So you don't need to worry. Simply do that. Simply do this, that. Then eventually you'll be able to just encounter through yourself. Okay, 10,000 words are not more than one action. Very true. Very true. Well, I don't know much about what you say in English, but the Japanese people say this. See, 100 whatever, even you just hear the things, listen to or hear the things what's going on in other country. It's just, it's another truth. Once you just see what's going on, then you never just be deceived at all. That's Japanese says so. So exactly what it says. When you just see, when you just encounter to yourself, see, when you just encounter, if you just encounter to yourself, you never be deceived by thinking also. You never be deceived by anything. See, you're completely from everything. See? That's the reason. That's the reason we have to do. We have to do that. Only that you'll be able to just realize who you are. See? Because Shakyamuni Buddha just have done it. Congratulations. Hi. Okay, maybe time up. Maybe time up. So, maybe 1 month absence. 1 month absence. And we'll see you the next month. Meanwhile, if you have a free time, if you are free, please do doesn't. Please do doesn't. What a doesn't is, whatever just thinking or thought come out in your mind. That is not a truth. Just coming out. Just coming out without any reason. So we don't need to care much about those. So simply release, simply release them as they are. This is totally enough. Constantly continue, you do. Then someday you'll be able to encounter through yourself. Only this thing we have to do, because within our life, within our life, if we cannot, unless we encounter the truth, we never have any more chance. Only one chance. Hi, thank you so much. And then, Carlos-san, definitely I send you the your marks name. Congratulations. Hi, thank you so much. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.